Hi everyone, Dee here with another debrief. Today I'm going to be reviewing a new variable voltage, variable wattage mod that I picked up from the Vapory.com. So that's www.vapory.com. And that is the Smok S.I.D. I have no idea what S.I.D. stands for. I even went to Smok's website, did a little bit of Googling, couldn't find it. I'm sure it stands for something, but they're not telling me what it is. I know a lot of times with the equipment reviews, they show the unboxing. I really don't see the point of it. It came in a box. It had a Chinglish owner's manual. That's about as exciting as it gets. So we'll start off with basically the looks and we'll move into function. I got mine in pink, but it actually does come in several colors. I'm just going to double check here. Black, red, white, pink, blue, and there's no picture of it, but silver is also an option when you go to look at the ordering. Feels really nice. The finish is, it's not just painted aluminum. It feels a little bit satiny. It's got a good grip to it. It's not slippy. So I think that the color is probably going to be fairly durable. It's not really going to wear off too fast. One of my favorite parts is the appearance of the menu. I know it's not going to come through too well on my camera, but it's a nice looking little menu. At least the display of it is. The top is 510 threaded. They don't mention that it has ego threading, but if you look at the connectors, it does look like an ego threading, and I went digging through my stash and I found an old Stardust, and it does screw right on there very nicely. So if these are your Clearos or your tanks of choice, you are going to be able to use it with this mod. Price wise, it's in the same neighborhood as the Vamo. This one was, I believe, $56.99 plus taxes and shipping. Personally, I've been using it since I got it because I wanted to use it for a bit before reviewing it. I've been using it with my rebuildable drunker tanks, which, as you guys all know, I love my drunker tanks. Fits really nicely with that one. I did also try my RSST on here and my Agatine. They do work well, but they do overhang the top a bit. Doesn't quite have that smooth tapering. And I did put a couple of the Tabac BCC card tank clearamizers on there too. And again, they seem to fit really nice and have that smooth flow. So in the description of it, we're going to move on to the batteries. It takes an 18650. And it says, designed for use with an 18650, IMR recommended. You may have to remove the sticker to get the battery to fit. So I happen to have 4 different brands of batteries here. I'm just going to show you. So, gray Panasonics fit no problem. Trust Fires won't go in. The red AW, again, slides in no problem. And the eFest 18650s don't go in either. So it's just that hair's width off. That does make me a little bit worried about if the battery ever fails, how well it's going to vent down the sides and to the vent hole in the bottom cap. But it does rattle a little bit, like not a huge amount, but clearly there's airflow around the battery. So, and I've never actually had one fail in one of my mods yet, knock on wood. I do tend to be pretty careful with my batteries and how I use them. So I'm just tightening this back up. And this is actually one of the few things I didn't like about the S.I.D. is the threading. The threading's fairly stiff. I find it's not hard to tighten in and out, but it's annoying. It just doesn't feel nice. Now you can remove the battery tubes. They just screw off like this. And I did read that it's compatible with the EVIC battery tubes and that they do thread better onto the device. Don't have any EVIC battery tubes to try it myself, so I can't really comment to that. I have noticed that, well, actually let's talk about the menu first, then I'll tell you what I noticed about unhooking and rehooking up the battery. So to access the menu, 3 clicks in a row, and then you choose which menu option you want. I'm not going to go through every menu option because honestly, if you need me to tell you how to use every menu option, you probably aren't just looking for a review on it. I'm going to tell you about the ones that really stuck out to me as unusual menu options. So the first one is that you can change what your LCD display shows. So you can choose from what your voltage output is. You can choose for it to show you your battery level. You can choose resistance, so that you can use this as a resistance checker for your wrapped coils. I tend to leave it on the battery, just because then every time you use it, you can see how your battery's draining. I did use this until I drained the first battery, even though typically I like to replace mine around 3.7, 3.8 volts, just because I wanted to see how the shutoff worked on it. It doesn't shut the device right down, it just flashes an arrow saying low on the screen. The other thing that I like about it is you can actually turn the LCD display on and off. So if you're, wanting to be a little bit stealthier for whatever reason, you can make it so this doesn't glow when you fire it. Like I said, it does have that option to check the resistance of your adding, but you are going to be firing the device to do so. So maybe not my first choice for checking resistance because of the potential to pop the coil when you're checking resistance, but definitely an option for it. It does have an option, of course, to lock the firing pin. They call it on and off. It doesn't actually shut the device off. Here, I'm just gonna turn it off and show you what happens if you've got it locked. So if you lock it and you hit the device, it's just going to read out off on the screen and not fire. So definitely, it's got that safety option to be able to carry in your pocket or your purse. And turn it back on. And then, of course, everybody's favorite option. You can choose between variable voltage or variable wattage. I like the variable wattage option. To borrow a phrase from Ronco, set it and forget it. I did notice when my battery ran out, and I changed it, as also when I've took it out to show different types of batteries, and when I unthreaded the battery tubes. It remembered I had it on wattage. It remembered my wattage level. It changed what I had set my output screen to. So I'm not sure if that's just a little quirk that it changes that one menu setting, or if it's going to randomly change different ones. Pretty consistently for me though, it's always been that output screen for me. So not the worst case scenario, because at least it's still going to vape at the setting I put it to. I've really been enjoying the feel of this in my hands. It fires nicely. The button presses smoothly. So for downsides, really, it's the threading. It's not one of the higher end mods, so you're not going to be wanting to chuck this at the floor, or or put it through its paces. You're gonna want to treat this one kind of nicely. Otherwise, it probably will. That they think the connectors are all press fitted, not welded in. So overall, I like this device. It's not very heavy duty. It is a $56 variable wattage mod. So in that neighborhood with the Vamo. It's great for what the price is though. And I'm just gonna show you it next to a couple of other ones, just so that you can get an idea of what it looks like, size wise. So here I've got the VMAX. And as you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the VMAX. Definitely got a little bit more weight to it, which is good, because I find with my VMAX it gets top heavy when I put the tanks on it, and then it falls over. if I have it just sitting on the desk. This one isn't as top heavy, so it's not as likely to topple, although I do like to mostly leave my mods in a mod holder that I've got set up. Here it is next to the Vamo. Next to the Vamo, you can see they're fairly close size-wise. It's a little bit, we line up the bottoms, it's a little bit shorter, but not by a heck of a lot. It's a little bit lighter, but again, not by a heck of a lot. Button fires nicely. It feel a little disorganized on this one because it's my first mod review. I did test the resistance checker. I checked this is a coil that I've coiled on my junker tank myself. I tested the resistance on it both on here, on my Vamo, which I often use to test the resistance of my coils, and with my multimeter. And they all came out at the same, 1.4. I've got it currently set to 10 watts. And it took me with 1.4 on the junker tank, which is a little bit low for vaping at 10 watts on a variable wattage device. Really, when you've got a device that's controlling your wattage, you might as well go for a little bit higher resistance and save your battery life. But even at 1.4, 10 volts, it took me a good... It was about a day and a half before the battery died. Of course, not constant vaping. So if I like added up all the hours of button pressing and vaping it, I'd say it probably lasted closer to 6 or 7 hours constant vaping at 1.4 ohms, 10 watts output. So really, you know, good battery life as far as I can tell. I don't think I'm getting a lot of voltage loss on it. A little bit. You know, it's not completely brass on the inside. I would measure the voltage loss, but because of the variable voltage aspect of it, I don't think we're really going to get a true reading on that one. But all in all, I do like this device. You know, for somebody that's starting out with variable voltage or variable wattage, it's really easy to use. I like how the finish feels in my hands. It's not a fingerprint magnet like some of the other starter ones. Definitely one that I would recommend to other people. So if you're in the market for a good, affordable, variable voltage, variable wattage device, check out www.vapory.com. Pick yourself up one of the Smok S.I.Ds. I got mine in pink, but like I said, they do come in a lot of different colors. And thank you for watching. You can find me, Dee, on www.whackedoutesig.ca or on my YouTube channel here, DEEbrief. And thank you very much for watching. Until next time, vape happy.